Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. So, how is everyone doing? I hope that you're doing amazing. Let me know if I'm clearly audible and visible. Let me know in the chat box. How are you all? How's the audio? Let me just check once. Just a second. I just want to. Just a second. I just want to. All right, so it's perfectly audible. Today we'll be starting with a new chapter of your CBSE class 10 biology, that is our environment. So we'll be completing this chapter in one shot, that is there in your CBSE class 10 term 2. So shall we get started, everyone? Amazing. Okay, I'm perfectly audible, perfectly visible, audio, video checked. Let's get started with our environment. But before that, I have a very positive quote for motivating you. That is, anything is possible. If you want to achieve something, then whether there are hundreds of obstacles, you're going to cross them and reach towards the path of success, right? So we're getting started with the chapter our environment, a very important chapter. And one important fact related to this chapter is it is highly ignored chapter. Students skip this chapter. I don't know why. They're going to study reproduction, they're going to study heredity, but not our environment. And remember, it is of 5 marks. So if you study this chapter, you'll be getting 5 crucial marks, right? So let us get started with the varieties of life on Earth. When I say biology, what comes to your mind? It is life, right? So biology is the study of life. So if I'm talking about life in detail, whatever organisms exist in this world, they show some variety. Variety, different types. They are of different types. Like if I talk about Animalia, that is a type. Fungi, Plantae, okay, Protista, Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, universal ancestor. All these are different types of varieties on Earth which exist. Okay, and these all varieties form our environment. Is that clear? Yes, hi Pro Maths. How are you doing? I hope this concept is very clear to everyone. Okay, fine. Now I won't be wasting my time on the charts. I have to complete this chapter today. These are all the types: Animalia, fungi, protista, eubacteria, archaebacteria, plantae. These are the different varieties that we have. Now, among these varieties, we can group them into two types: biotic and abiotic components of our environment. What are the biotic factors? You all know bio means life. So the factors which have life are going to be termed as biotic factors, like we have these. Okay, and abiotic factors which are important for the biotic factors like air, salinity, soil, temperature, light, water, nutrients, minerals, humidity, pH, these all things which are non-living, they are termed as abiotic factors. Okay, now we have a picture in which organisms are interacting with each other. Here is a mouse which is living, and we have apple which is non-living. So biotic interactions, as we can see. Okay, now see, these are the biotic interactions with mouse and apple, and here we have abiotic interactions, sun and trees and all that. Okay, so this all is important to understand. Biotic, which have life; abiotic, which do not have life but are important to support life. Done. Here is the interaction. We all interact with each other. We cannot live without abiotic factors. Just imagine if there would have been no sun. Would we be able to exist in the world? No. Sun is very important. pH is important. Rain is important. Without water and air, how would you live? How would we live without the oxygen gas? Right? So that is why abiotic factors are equally important. Talking about natural versus artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem, which is already present, which is made by nature, right? Mountains. If I'm talking about mountains, have humans made the mountains? No. They were the same before 1,000 years also. The mountains were the same. If I talk about pond, lake, oceans, they all are naturally made. If I talk about forests, right? Whereas artificial ecosystems are something which are made by humans. If I say garden, we just had land, but we have grown grass and made that garden. We've taken a piece of land and we've grown grass on it. If I talk about aquariums, have you all seen aquariums? That is an artificial ecosystem for fish. Crop fields, these are the artificial ones. Grasslands, yeah, grasslands is natural. Now, talking about three important types: producers, consumers, decomposers. What is a producer in layman language? Producer means something which is producing something. Producers are something which will produce something. What? They will prepare their own food. So producers basically produce their own food or prepare their own food. Clear? What is the example? Plants. Only plants have the power to prepare their own food. Other organisms are dependent on them, right? Consumers. Now, if somebody is going to produce, the other one is going to consume that, right? So we humans are consumers. We consume the food directly or indirectly, okay? Either we directly eat the plants or we eat the animals which sustain because of plants, okay? And decomposers, what are decomposers? They break down dead remains and waste products. So basically, if I have something dead, let's say a human being has been dead, and if you bury him inside the soil, after a few days you will find the skeleton. What happened to that human being? It has been decomposed by the decomposers, right? And remember, plants are the autotrophs, okay? And consumers and decomposers are heterotrophs. Examples are very important of both consumers and decomposers, so you should know. And this is a trophic level. I'll come to that. Okay. Now we have a food chain. What is a food chain? It is basically a series of trophic level. I think trophic level is not given over here. Chalo, let me explain you the trophic level. I hope. Okay, fine. Let me explain you. Okay, so we have a trophic level in this way, pyramid. At the bottommost part, is it visible? I guess yes. We have the plants. Okay. Then we have the primary consumers, secondary consumers, and the tertiary consumers. What are trophic levels? They are just a pyramid kind of a thing, which show that the above trophic level is eating the below one. So plants are eaten by the primary consumers, which are termed as herbivores. Herbivores are eaten by SC, secondary consumers, also known as small carnivores. So SC you can remember, and small carnivores are eaten by tertiary consumers, which are known as big carnivores. This is the trophic level. I hope you've understood that. And the food chain, what is that? Food chain is a series of trophic levels. That plant is consumed by the grasshopper, grasshopper by the bird, bird by the snake, snake by the owl. So this series of food, wherein the bottommost is the food for this one, and it continues is known as a food chain, which describes how the organisms are getting their food. Okay, so it is a series of trophic levels. What is a trophic level? As I've explained, it is a series. First, second, third, fourth. It is a level how food is eaten. Okay, what are the food? Like, for example, grasshopper eats the plants, squirrel eats the plants. Now, scorpion eats the grasshopper. So it will be placed on the trophic level above the grasshopper, whatever is eating. Okay, so this is going to happen. Plants are eaten by grasshoppers, so plants are placed below it. In this way, we are going to make the trophic level. So they are levels. Food web. What is food web? Food web is nothing but the interconnected food chains. They form the food web. Okay. Hi, Pro Maths. Great. interconnected food chains. So here we have a lot of food chains connected together, which are going to constitute the food web. You can have a look at it, you don't have to learn it. Okay, diagram showing flow of energy in an ecosystem. What happens that if we eat something, we get energy. So there must be some sort of flow of energy. Flow means from one energy level to the other, from one trophic level to the other. So number one, the main source of energy is our sunlight. Then plants, what do? They take up the light energy of the sunlight. Sunlight will give light energy. And they convert this light energy into chemical energy through photosynthesis. So they are getting chemical energy. Okay. Then from producers, the energy is going to be transferred to the herbivores when they're going to eat the producers. Herbivores to carnivores when carnivores are going to eat the herbivores, and carnivores to top carnivores like we have lion and tiger and all that. Right? That is very important. Now, something very important, that energy flow from one trophic level to the other is just 10%. What do I mean by that? Understand now. Okay. Suppose if I'm going from plants to the herbivores, then what happens? Whatever energy is consumed by plants through the sun will reach to the herbivore only 10%. Only 10% of energy is going to reach to the herbivores. Let's say if 1000 joule of energy was formed by the plants from the sunlight. So 10% of 1000 is how much? 100. So 100 joule of energy is going to be transferred to the herbivores. Now you will ask what happens to the rest 900 joule. I'll say the rest 900 joule energy is lost to the environment. Why? Because you need to get the functions done in your body also, for the growth, for the development, for the other things. Now this 100 joule, when a carnivore is going to consume this herbivore, this 100 joule will reduce to 10 joules. That carnivore will just get 10 joule of energy, and the top carnivores will just get 1 joule. Now can you imagine if we would have more than 4 trophic levels, then the fifth carnivore won't get any energy, right? That is why we just have 4 or 5 trophic levels, because energy flow is just going to allow 10% of energy to transfer from one trophic level to the other. This is known as law of 10%. Okay, I hope that's very clear to you. Okay, yeah, I told you producers are getting 10,000 kcal, then primary consumers 1000, then 100, then 10. Are you able to understand? See, from plants to rabbit to snake to eagle. So at the time of eagle, it's just getting 10 kcal energy. Okay, 10% law of energy. Okay, wait a second. Actually, that is not given over here. I don't know why. One more important thing to be remembered is the flow of energy is unidirectional. What do I mean by that? If I have this diagram, if from the plants the energy is going to the rabbit, that 10% of energy is going to the next trophic level, it cannot come back to the plants again. Once the energy is transferred, it cannot be reverted back. It cannot be achieved, I mean, it cannot be received by the plants again. No, once it has been lost. Similarly, if a snake eats this rabbit, then the rabbit won't be able to get his energy back again. It will move to the snake, just the 10% of the rabbit. Okay, and same happens with eagle and the other trophic levels. Now the 10% law of energy transfer from the one trophic level to the next trophic level. During the transfer of energy from organic food from one trophic level to the next, only about 10% of the energy from organic material is stored as flesh. The rest is lost as heat to the environment, because our body releases a lot of heat. So that energy is lost. Okay? Okay, talking about biomagnification. What is biomagnification? It is basically the concentration of chemicals at each trophic level. Now you must have seen that farmers spray a lot of pesticides and insecticides on the plants. Why? To prevent them from locusts maybe, or from other insects which might eat the plants. So that is why they spray these pesticides and insecticides, but they don't know that these chemicals are toxic. Okay, they are not good. They are at the end chemicals, right? So what happens that this concentration increases and increases and increases, the concentration of chemicals. Once I've added the chemicals in the next trophic level, the concentration of those chemicals is going to increase, because that chemical will be transferred to the next organism. Yes, so along with the chemical of the previous one and the chemical of that organism, it increases. Is that clear, everyone? Great. Okay. Done. Biomagnification. A cumulative increase in the concentrations of persistent substance at this pesticide metal as it moves up the food chain. Right now, here it was 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000, 10,000,000. Magnification of DDT concentration. It's a chemical. Chemicals or metals or whatever. ठीक है, cumulative, step by step. हमने पढ़ा था cumulative frequency in mathematics statistics में 2. अगर यहाँ पर 2 then it's 4 then it's 8, then what will it become? 2 plus 4 6, 6 plus 8 14. So this is the cumulative. It means the organism's chemical is there only. Now the next trophic level ka chemical will be this will be added with the previous organism's trophic level. What am I trying to say? Suppose here it is 2% chemical is present in the first trophic level, then 4% in the second, 8% in the third. For example, it's already present. So the basic level, the first level will have 2% only. Okay, because nobody is eating it. But when this 4% trophic level is going to eat 2%, these two chemicals are going to combine. So their sum will be 6%. So in this way, chemicals have been increased now. Is there any doubt related to this? No, na? Fine. So in this way, it is going to increase. Now 6% already there. Next organism has 8% of energy, chemicals, DDT concentration. So 6 plus 8, 14% now. So at successive trophic levels, the chemicals, the rise chemicals and toxic substances is increasing, like pesticides or persistent substances, you can say it's increasing. Okay, this is known as biomagnification. Now talking about the ozone layer, very important. What is the ozone layer? Anyone? Okay, the formula for ozone layer is O3, and it protects the earth from the harmful UV rays of the sun, from the harmful UV radiations of the sun. So basically you must be thinking, how is ozone formed? So what happens that oxygen is O2. So at the high level of atmosphere, what happens that due to the UV rays, these oxygen molecules split into individual oxygen atoms, O and O respectively. Now molecules are also there. So what happens when these individual oxygen atoms combine with one molecule of oxygen which is present in the atmosphere, they form O3, which is ozone. Now ozone is like, unlike oxygen, which is a gas which is super important for us, ozone is a harmful gas. It is a poisonous gas. Very important to understand. Oxygen is the lively gas. Because of this only we are living. So see, O2, O plus O, it has split. Then O plus O2 gives us O3, and this O3 due to UV again splits into O and O2 respectively. Okay, due to UV rays. So it protects us from UV rays. This is important. It is found at the higher levels of atmosphere. This can be asked in the board exams, and you should know the depletion. Here from here 3 marker questions are asked. 3 marker, like how is ozone formed, 1 mark, what is ozone, 1 mark, its function, 1 mark, and how is it getting depleted. So 3 marker question can be formed in this. When you can get 2 marker question from the trophic level. I am telling you from the experience of sample question paper and the previous year questions. Now the amount of ozone in the atmosphere began to drop sharply in the 1980s. What happened exactly? This was because of the chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. what do? They deplete the ozone layer, they reduce it. And if it is going to happen, then we'll directly be exposed to that harmful ray of the sun, which can cause skin cancer. Now, CFCs are used in the refrigerators and they were linked to ozone depletion. Right, everyone? Fine. That's really great. You people are enjoying the session. In 1987, the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, succeeded. Okay, I need a second. Okay, just a second. Hmm. Fine now. Now, chloro. I think I will. Now it's perfect, I guess. Okay. Now, in 1987, the United Nations Environment Program (UNEP) succeeded in forging an agreement to freeze CFC production at 1986 levels. So we need to stop this CFC production, which is harming our ozone layer, which is very important. It is now mandatory for all the manufacturing companies to make CFC-free refrigerators throughout the world. Now, humans and waste material. Now, if humans are there, then waste material is generally found. We generate a lot of material that are thrown away. So there are a lot of waste materials which are of no use to us, so we throw them away. Now they are categorized into two parts: biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable, what is that? Which can be decomposed, which can be degraded by the decomposers and can be converted into what you call as manure or compost. Oh my god, is there a power cut? Yes, Pro Math. I thought there was a power cut. Okay. Now, biodegradable decompose naturally in the environment and they are safe for the environment. They are made up of natural ingredients, constantly reused, persist for small time in the environment. Is that clear to everyone? Excellent. Whereas non-biodegradable do not decompose naturally, they are harmful and create pollution, made of synthetic materials, cannot be recycled and persist for longer time in the environment. This table is very important. From here you can get a 3-marker question directly. Distinguish between biodegradable versus non-biodegradable waste. And you can also download the session PDF from the description box. Let me tell you how you can do that. First of all, you have to open YouTube. Okay, like I have opened YouTube. Now what you're going to do, just a second. See, our session is going on over here. To do, okay. Just a second, I will have to become smaller. Now what you have to do, first of all, first step is to like the video. Okay, now why have I unliked now? Okay, second step is to go to the description box and search over here session PDF for our environment. You will be getting after the session. Okay, everyone. And let me show you how you can check out any video through our playlist. All the playlists have been made. You can check them out. If you want any video of CBSE class 10 science, you can check out from this playlist. Where is it? All the videos have been added over here. So this is the live session, electricity and all that. So you can watch that also. If you want social studies, here is the playlist. 75 students have already viewed it. Thank you so much. Or any playlist that you want to visit. I had sprint revision for biology also. You can watch that also. The next batch. Okay. That's amazing. And do watch this session of Rakshata. This was literally amazing. So you would surely enjoy types of students and do like also. Okay, everyone. Okay, fine. Now we can get back to the session. Fine. Now, next thing is pollution on land. Pollution is really bad. Land pollution because of the waste that we generate. So that should be stopped. Pollution in water. Just look at it. Look at these images. Land, water. And now talking about waste management, these we should make separate boxes for separate waste like paper, glass, organic, plastic, dry and wet waste differently. So these waste management techniques have to be discovered by us only. We only have to follow them, following the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. Right? So these all are very important. Follow them: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, now we are moving on to the questions. So is everybody ready for the questions? I want a thumbs up in the chat box in case you're ready for the question session. MCQ. Chaliye, all of you are going to answer this. Which of the following is not a terrestrial ecosystem? Forest, desert, aquarium, grassland. Terrestrial. Terrestrial से क्या याद आता है? Land. Which is not on the land. Okay, and your time's up. It is aquarium because aquarium is in water. Chali. Ozone layer is damaged by what? Methane, CO2, SO2, CFCs. Easy peasy. Come on. Everyone is going to write in the chat box. Yes, Promats. Excellent. Okay, the answer is CFCs. That is chlorofluorocarbons. Awesome. Next question. Which of the following limits the number of trophic levels in the food chain? Water, polluted air, deficient food supply, decrease in energy at higher trophic levels. Okay, your time's up. Yes, decrease in energy at higher trophic levels. As the trophic levels increase, the energy decreases. Less energy, 10% only. Subjective. Come on, subjective questions are going to be solved by you. Open your notebook and start solving the questions. Okay. You just read the question once, understand. Okay, the question says name the process that is a direct outcome of excessive burning of fossil fuels. What will happen if you will burn the fossil fuels excessively? What can happen? See, if you burn the fossil fuels, then burning releases heat. Because of the heat, temperature is going to increase. Yes or no? Now, if temperature will increase, this will lead to global warming. So how will you frame it as an answer? This is just a mind map. Global warming is the direct outcome of fossil fuels. Next question, what is 10% law? Give an example. Who knows? I have explained you just now. Okay. What happens? I told you, na, 10% law. That if I have plants and herbivores, so the energy transfer from plants to herbivores will just be of 10%. How to write in the subjective format? 1 second. Okay. According to the 10% law, only 10% of energy is available at the next trophic level. For example, if energy available of producer level is 1000 joules, then at the next level only 10% of 1000 joules, that is 100 joule is available. I gave you this example also. Example will contain 1 mark. Definition will contain 1 mark. So it's a 2-marker question. Next, why is there a need to ban the use of polythene bags? Come on, this is pretty simple. Because they are non-biodegradable. First point, microorganisms are not able to decompose it, so it goes on accumulating on land and causes land pollution. It is a 2-marker question. Now let me tell you which points are going to be considered and which one are going to be considered as the same. If you write the same points, then you won't be getting the marks. I am here, pro maths, don't worry. Now, If you are writing non-biodegradable and the next line, microorganisms are not able to decompose it, this means the same. So 1 mark for this. Non-biodegradable, because of which microorganisms are not able to break it or decompose it. So, but here you have to write 2 points. You've just written one. So how can you expect full marks? Second point is, so it goes on accumulating on the land and causes land pollution. In this way, you can get 2 marks, 1 mark of this. First point, non-biodegradable. Second point, land pollution, causes land pollution. Important. Write an aquatic food chain. You can draw this. Chaliye. See, phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish and large fish. This is the answer, nothing else. What is biological magnification and give its causes? I told you just now. Okay, so you can just have a look at it. The increased concentration of chemicals at subsequent trophic levels is called biological magnification. As I said, at subsequent trophic levels, the next trophic level, the concentration of chemicals, toxic substances is going to increase. It occurs due to the excessive use of pesticides which enter our food chain through plants because of farmers. Okay. Next, how garbage pollution can be controlled. And over here, this was of, I guess, 2 marks. So first you have to write the definition and then causes. The definition is this. 1 mark definition, 1 mark pesticides and insecticides. Wait a second. Okay. How garbage pollution can be controlled? Who all can tell me the answer? Okay. And here's the answer. Now, pollution of garbage can be controlled by, here are a few ways: recycling of certain waste produced like plastic and paper, making use of biodegradable products as much as we can, producing biogas from organic waste, separation of biodegradable, non-biodegradable during disposal, making compost of biodegradable waste by burning them under sun. I am not teaching this because I've already taught a few minutes ago. So if you haven't watched, you can watch the replay of the session. Okay, everyone? Can you do that? You can definitely. I've taught this. What is meant by ecosystem? And do download the PDF of the session through the description box for studying. What is meant by ecosystem? Name its components. We've discussed the ecosystem also. The aggregate of all external conditions and their influences affecting the life and the development of an organism in its natural habitat is called as ecosystem. Ecosystem, what is that? It is basically the aggregate, the sum of all the external conditions and their influences, the effects affecting the life and development of any organism, any living being. And the components, abiotic, biotic. I've told you, you can write the example pretty easily. Significance of food chain. Do it. This was of 3 marks basically. 1 for this, 1 for this, 1 for this. Significance of food chain. Chaliye, we can do that. Okay, the time's up. I think you won't be able to see. I think now it must have been better. Significance of food chain. It means the transfer food from one trophic level to the other, provides information about the living components, helps us understanding interdependence among different organisms in an ecosystem, a pathway for the flow of energy. So these 4 points will give you 4 marks most probably. Or this can also be asked as a 3-mark question wherein you have to just write 3. Probably the last question, give reason life on earth depends on the sun. Oh my god, this is the conclusion. We started our journey from the sun only. Okay, I think it must not be visible. A second. Okay, now I think you will be able to see. Okay, understand now. Sun is the ultimate source of energy on earth. It is having the natural energy. What type of an energy? It has light energy. That is also clear to you. Only plants can convert solar energy into chemical energy, that is food. What is this chemical energy called as food? Which is transferred to different organisms at various trophic levels, because we heterotrophs are dependent on plants. Energy stored in fossil fuel is also transferred, solar energy, because they are made up of, they are made up of decomposed plants and animals. Hence, solar energy is utilized and transformed in different forms, which is utilized by us. So first thing, plants to different organisms, also fossil fuels, stored as fossil fuels. So you have to write these things, ultimate source, and plants can convert it and all that. So that is not going to be a difficult thing for you. Okay. So you can see over here. Okay, so with this we've come to an end. I hope you enjoyed. Do like, share, and subscribe to the channel and press on that notification bell icon. So notifications should be on, everyone. You're going to keep it off and you won't be notified, right? Okay. So how was the session? I hope you enjoyed. It was quite fun. It was interesting, right? That is something which I wanted to do today because I was sure that this chapter would have been ignored by the students. I don't want students to ignore this chapter but study it well, because if you study this chapter well, you will get good marks. And I want everyone to score good marks in their board exams, right? I wish we could have Menti, but we won't have Menti. Okay? We won't have. What's the reason for Menti is that your boards are subjective, so keeping the Menti won't make much sense. You can ask your doubts, everyone, if you have any. Okay, so if you have any kind of doubts, you can ask. You have already. Okay. Was my voice and everything clear throughout the session? You can watch the replay if you've missed something. Okay, please watch the replay. Voice and everything clear throughout the session. You can watch the replay if you've missed something. Okay, so somebody is saying that explain energy law. I have already explained the energy law, so you can check that out. Okay, you can watch the replay of the session so that you will get the conceptual clarity regarding it. Any other doubt? Romance, anyone else with any sort of doubt? Please feel free to post in the comment section. I'll meet you in the next session. Okay, we have discussed a lot of important things today and no doubts? Okay, awesome. So we've also had a lot of subjective questions for you so that your board preparation is going to be superb. One more thing before leaving, that is, okay. Now it's gonna be interesting. You can see YouTube is there. Go to the session. Okay. How was the now the 10%? Voice was crystal clear. Fine. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now I am ending the session over here. Okay, without any problem. Okay, please end it. Take care. We'll end at 40 minutes. Now I've covered so much, so let's make it a 40 minutes ki class. Till that time, if you want to ask any doubt, you can ask. We are about to end. Energy law explained 10% energy, that 10% energy is only transferred in the subsequent trophic level. Okay, students, it's time to say goodbye. Okay. People are getting angry that end क्यों नहीं कर रहे. Bye.